Howdy, everybody. I'm your host, Steven. Welcome to the Aroundtable. And today I'll be talking about the latest CD, or latest release of Bruce Springsteen, from Bruce Springsteen, excuse me, called Only the Strong Survive. This is basically a new record of old soul classics, so a covers album. As most people know by now, I'm not a huge fan of these things, so I wasn't overly excited about a release from Bruce Springsteen. No, let me say that again. I'm always excited when Bruce Springsteen releases something. I just was not as excited for this. And if you are excited for this, good for you. Um, I listened to it yesterday. No, sorry, I listened to it Friday. I did not like it, to be honest. It didn't do anything for me. Sunday morning, I kind of enjoyed it. And so I'm going to go back and I'm going to say this. I'm still not a fan of covers albums. I don't know why. If I want to listen to the Beatles, I'm not going to listen to somebody else play the Beatles. I'm going to go listen to the Beatles. That's my train of thought since day one of liking music. I don't mind listening to every once in a while covers album, but I like if the artist takes a chance on the material and makes it their own. Now, Bruce Springsteen, in a sense, does make it his own here, but they are pretty much faithful to the original. So there's not much of a experimentation or a gamble on the material. It's quite safe, but it is played well. It sounds great. Bruce suits these songs. I didn't think he would, but for the most part, I think he does have limitations. Sometimes it doesn't really work out. But songs like "Do I Love You?" "Indeed I Do," um, "Soul Days," I think it's called, and then there's "When She Was My Girl" and "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Again." Sound great, and it really works for Bruce Springsteen. It really works for him. It's a good album. Is it quintessential Bruce Springsteen? For me, no. For you, maybe, but for me, no. If I'm gonna, what I liked better was Western Stars, where he kind of had that old '70s Western soundtrack sound going, but with original material. So he played homage to it, but yet it was original. This, I would like to have seen him make new songs. Do a couple of covers to get us in the mood or whatever, or set us up, and then do some original sounds that sound like old soul classics. That would have been a little bit more interesting to me. Is it a horrible record? Not by a long shot. It is good. It's just not something I know I will go back to many times during the rest of my life. Maybe once every 2, 3 years I'll put this on. Um, is it bad? No, not at all. So if anybody thinks I'm not liking this album, I do. It's just, again, I like the idea of Western Stars, where he took that sound and made new material that fit that format and really made an homage to it. This is a great love letter to the style, the music, and the artists that influenced Springsteen and basically kind of shaped him to the guy he is today. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, again, if I want to hear any of these songs, what's it? Night Shift. That's the one that's an odd selection for me. That one is like, I don't know. It's an odd choice. Good song. I prefer the Commodores version, but that's the one that one, the Commodores one, Night Shift. I don't know. It's good, but it's an odd choice of all the songs you could have picked. Not that it's a bad song. Again, I'm gonna say this one last time before people say these things that I do not like. I do. I'm just not a huge fan of it. So again, I listened to it. I enjoyed it. There are some great songs. Like I said, "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Again," "When She Was My Girl," "Do I Love You?" "Indeed I Do," are great interpretations. And you can see Springsteen is genuinely in love with this era or this type of music. And that you can see it, feel it through the recording, that he is in love with. This is a very respectful homage to it, but it is a safe version of it. That he's not really changing much of the arrangements. He's sticking to it pretty much as is, and that's okay. That's okay. But the thing is, underlying in all of this, you can see there's a genuine love for the material. And I think that's what saves it for me for being a covers album. Sometimes you can just hear they're just doing it to do a contract fulfillment. This is a guy, he doesn't need to do this now. He doesn't need to do this. And he did it. And it's good. It's just not something I'm going to go back to 100 times. Born to Run, I'm going to go back to every year. Born in the USA, Ton of Love, Love, The River. I go back every year to these albums and I still go, wow, they're good. This maybe every 3-4 years I'll pick it up and go, I'll spin this one for a change, So again, not bad. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not quintessential Springsteen for me. That being said, if you love Springsteen or if you love old soul classics, you can't go wrong with this. Everything is done very well. And like I said, you can hear it that Springsteen is in love with this material. This is not some sort of record fulfillment or a contract fulfillment. This is a guy who actually loves this stuff. So for that reason alone, it's worth a listen to hear someone who actually loves the material. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So this is Steve from the Aroundtable saying, I recommend it if you like cover albums and if you like old soul classics. If you're a Springsteen fan who doesn't like him covering material, this may not be your first purchase. Or if you're going to start being a Bruce Springsteen fan now, I don't think this is the album to start with. But that's me. Again, this is Steven saying it's not bad, but it's not for me as a quintessential Bruce Springsteen release. So that being said, this is Steve from the Roundtable, wishing you the very best.